FLM, wide open thinking, world-class work, and far-reaching results. Now with locations in Minneapolis, Columbus, Indianapolis, and Washington, D.C. A strategic marketing and communications company dedicated to serving clients who specialize in the business of agriculture and the life of rural communities.
Thank you for joining us for our Agri-Pulse Washington Week in Review. I'm Spencer Chase, joined as always by Agri-Pulse senior editor Phil Brasher, discussing the week that was, agriculturally speaking, in Washington, D.C. And the news out of Washington this week is that there is still no news on a new agriculture secretary. Here we sit a week to the day from the date that President-elect Donald Trump will become President Donald Trump. Still just that one vacancy on his new cabinet is agriculture secretary, with him naming his Veterans Affairs secretary earlier this week. So agriculture, the lone man standing. Phil, the news that we got just earlier this morning, we're recording here on a Friday morning, news that we got earlier this morning, sometime soon.
Sometime soon, or as one of our astute Twitter followers responded, define soon. We don't know exactly what that means, but I think that's the first time they've actually used the word soon. We know they've been going back and forth. There's some regional issues going on. We've heard from various sources that there's the Hispanic issue. This is the one opening left. They haven't appointed Hispanic yet. And of course they could do that on a sub-cabinet post. But that's in play here. So we'll see. There are a lot of the names that have been bounced around for the last 2 months are still out there, so we'll see. Again, sometime soon. They insist that President-elect Trump understands the importance of agriculture and trade to the economy, and he wants to get this right. That's what they keep telling us.
Yes, the word soon is a lot like the word Midwest. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So we'll see what it means to the Trump transition team in regards to picking their new agriculture secretary. But in terms of things that we can actually talk about because they've actually happened, on Capitol Hill this week we saw some action from a House Agriculture Committee bill that would deal with some things with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. That's an entity that the House Ag Committee has jurisdiction over. There were efforts to do something similar in the last Congress, fell short, and now we're seeing very similar efforts underway here in the 115th Congress.
Right. Well, the CFTC authorization has been expired for some time. The Commission continues to operate. It doesn't actually need the statutory authorization to keep running and keeping watch on the futures market. This is part of the Republicans have been trying to roll back some of the regulations that have been implemented or will be implemented as part of the Dodd-Frank law that passed back in as a result of the meltdown of the markets in 2008. And Republicans in the House have been using these first couple of weeks of the year. The committees their committee are just getting operating, so there are no hearings yet, but they're using these first couple of weeks to highlight regulatory issues that they want to go after. And so this is one of the bills, the CFTC reauthorization bills, one of the bills they brought up this past week and passed.
And it's still likely to face a lot of opposition in the Senate.
Oh, this one probably will face even more opposition than the two that they've passed before in 2014 and 2015. They didn't go anywhere in the Senate. This one isn't going to go anywhere either. One of the issues that this bill has that the past bills doesn't have is it actually would freeze the budget at the CFTC at the current level. It's about $250 million. Democrats in the Senate have been insisting that the Republicans agree to expand the staff and put more money into the agency. This bill sends a message that's off the table as far as House Republicans are concerned. So that makes it even more difficult.
So we'll continue to follow things in regards to the CFTC reauthorization, but I want to wrap up this week talking about some news out of the House of Representatives, specifically the Agriculture Committee. We're starting to see the committee realignments kind of take a little bit of shape, have a final slate of Republican members, don't quite have a final slate of Democratic members. We know who the new freshman candidates are going to be for the committees. We don't know for sure what Democrats are going to be leaving the committees, but we have a very good idea. And Phil, the way things are shaping out, it's looking like there's going to be a fair amount of Southern influence on this new House Agriculture Committee.
Yeah, it's as people have really watched farm policy closely and past farm bills know that the southern growers typically have more influence in the House. Midwest, a bit more influence in the Senate. I think that's very much going to be the case as we head into this next farm bill. Of the Republican membership of the House Agriculture Committee, we counted over half of the Republican membership, that's 26 members. Over half of those are going to be from southern states, and that's, if you can count Oklahoma, Texas to Florida, Virginia, that region. And so those commodities, rice, cotton, the other peanuts, the other commodities that are primarily grown in the South, they're going to have a lot of strong support and allies on the House Agriculture Committee. That sets up what's going to be, again, possibly some regional commodity by commodity challenges for the members in the committees on both sides of the Hill to sort through.
Yeah, and it's often and quite accurately said that ag is less partisan and more regional. We may be watching that play out here over the next couple of weeks, months, and years as Congress works to write a new farm bill with a chairman in the House from Texas and a chairman in the Senate from Kansas. Be interesting to see how that plays out in the two pieces of legislation. Also, just want to briefly mention shortly before we recorded this morning, Chairman Conaway announced his subcommittee chairs in the House. Only two changes there. Glenn Thompson, Pennsylvania Republican, who is now the vice chair of the committee after the retirement of Randy Naugabauer of Texas, will serve as the chairman of the Subcommittee on Nutrition, which of course was chaired in the last Congress by Jackie Walorski, who now heads to the Ways and Means Committee. A lot of moving parts here. And then now the Conservation and Forestry Subcommittee chairmanship, vacated by Congressman Thompson, will be taken over by former committee chairman Frank Lucas of Oklahoma. Otherwise, the other subcommittee chairmanships pretty well stayed the same. Not a whole lot of changes there as the House begins looks to begin deliberations on a new farm bill. But I think that's going to about do it for what we're talking about this week. We'll be sure to keep you up to date on all information regarding the search for a Secretary of Agriculture as we head into Inauguration Week here in Washington, D.C. Be interesting to see the festivities that will unfold for that.
Yeah, and a lot of big confirmation hearings next week as well, just ahead of the inauguration.
Right, I believe Scott Pruitt is
Scott
next
Pruitt,
week.
The Oklahoma Attorney General has been nominated for EPA. Congressman Ryan Zinke, the nominee for Interior Secretary, Rick Perry, the nominee for Energy. They all have confirmation hearings next week.
I believe Commerce is next week as well.
And Wilbur Ross, who is going to be, we are told, leading President Trump's trade policy. There are a number of pieces and people involved in his trade policy, but we're understood that his Commerce nominee, Wilbur Ross, is going to be leading that. He has a confirmation hearing next week as well.
So be sure to stay tuned on information and updates on those confirmation hearings, specifically how the information purveyed relates to agriculture policy. But for Phil Brasher, I'm Spencer Chase. Have a good one.